As far as peace and justice goes, it's interesting when maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was recognizing there were certain leaders in our conference, certain churches maybe that had a stronger focus on peace and justice. And I recognized at the time amongst, say, some of our youth leaders that that wasn't always, um, there wasn't buy-in across the board, that that was a byproduct or that was, 10th or 12th down the list of important things to do in terms of being the church. To put it at the forefront was misplacing some really important aspects of our theology. And whereas I'm recognizing now we're at a place where I think it's more integrated into our DNA. It's one and the same. It's not an agenda item here to meet in a certain sequence of priorities, but it's just part of being the Church of Christ and following Jesus' example. And I see some of the relevant places where we are taking peace and justice is recognizing creation care and understanding how that impacts how the choices we make in terms of even the food we eat. And it's also in the context of where Camp Squia is located. We're in the heart of the Fraser Canyon, and that is very solid First Nations territory. There's a lot of history involved there with First Nations people, and there are a number of different bands along that corridor who we share that space with. And so for Camp Squia, I think it involves us becoming more intentional neighbors and getting a better understanding of the history with the Stolo tribe, with the Yale tribe or the Yale band, and I think we have much to learn from them as neighbors and as people who've lived there for centuries, and their customs, the benefits of being along the Fraser River, etc., etc. And I think as a conference, it's good for us to be looking at how can we not establish, but work on that relationship and recognize where we have to ask for forgiveness, perhaps, where reconciliation can take place with real integrity and with honor. And so I'm excited to be a part of those discussions and to be in this place, in this time in history, to see if perhaps there's something we can do to make right some of the wrongs that we have maybe unwittingly made, but to not just move forward without looking back, but to look back and say, what we could have done better, or we can help change the past.